Day 222 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again, and today we have question number 82, remove duplicates from sorted list 2. The difficulty level is medium, but don't worry, we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand, so let's get into it, y'all. The question says, given the head of a sorted list, delete all the nodes that have duplicate numbers, leaving only distinct numbers from the original list. Return the linked list sorted as well. So it's pretty self-explanatory, y'all. Let's look at example 1 so we can see what they mean. Example 1, we have the input head. It's the list node or a list of nodes on an array of integers 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. I think it's called a list node, so we're just going to call it a list node, and the output is another list node 1, 2, and 5, right? So let's look at these pictures, these handy dandy pictures that they give us so we can see what they mean, right? So in example 1, we have this list node right here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5. We have to remove both of these 3s and both of these 4s, right? These 3s right here, these 4s right here, so that the output is just 1, 2, and 5. So it's not we're not just removing 1 3 or 1 4. We're removing both of the 3s and both of the 4s, and so the output doesn't include any one of them, just 1, 2, and 5, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's look at example 2 though, where it might get a little tricky, where the first node is a duplicate, and I'll tell you why that's tricky when we get into the solution. But in example 2, we have an input head. It's a list node. It's a 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3. The output is 2 and 3, right? So in example 2, let's look at the picture again. We have these 3 ones to start with. We want to remove all 3 of these ones so that we're just left with 2 and 3. And so the output is 2 and 3, y'all. So now that we understand the question, let's get into the solution. But before we get into the solution, y'all, if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check that link out in the description. Excuse me. And then go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Now, let's get into the solution, right? So first thing we are going to do, we're going to create a dummy node, and that dummy node is what's going to help us in case the first nodes are duplicates, right? Just like they are here. That's why we're going to create a dummy node, so we'll be able to iterate through the whole list, and we'll have a dummy node to start so we could be able to count all of the duplicates, right? So first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a dummy node, and that's going to help us with the edge cases and the manipulation, right? So we're going to say let dummy for all my Baltimore folks. We're going to say let dummy list node. We're going to say dummy colon this list node question mark. Then we're going to say equals list node open under parentheses -1. And what that's going to do is going to create like a dummy node. It would be over here, right? If this is, or let's look at this list node right here, right? So the dummy node will be right over here somewhere. That's why it's -1, because yeah, right? So then we'd be over here. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna set dummy, dummy question mark dot next. We're gonna set that equal to the head, right? So that's how we're going to set the dummy node over here, right? So the next node after this dummy node right here will be the head, which is this one right here, right? So we're gonna set the, excuse me, y'all. So that's how we're going to set the dummy node right here where we need it to be set. Then we're going to come down here and we are going to create a pointer that's going to help us traverse through the list. And we're going to say, by saying, we're going to declare a variable. We're going to call that cur. And we're going to set that equal to dummy. So we're going to start at dummy, cur for the current node, but we're going to start it at dummy because we want to start from the beginning, right? So then now we need to iterate through the list as long as there are at least 2 nodes ahead of us, right? So in order to do that, we need 2 nodes ahead of us because we need duplicates, right? So if there was a dummy node and then there's only 1 node right here, then we know there's no duplicates, right? So this is going to help us to iterate through the list as long as there are at least 2 nodes ahead of us, because we're going to need 2 nodes ahead of the dummy node in order for it to be a duplicate. If there's not 2 nodes, then there's only a single node, so there can't be a duplicate with a single node. So we're going to do that by saying while, there it is, while let next val, right, we're going to say this equal sign, one equal sign, cur question mark dot next, excuse me y'all, next question mark dot val, then we're going to say comma, and then we're going to say let next val. So we're going to do a camel case with a small next, then we're going to do a big next, then we're going to do big val, and we're going to set that equal to cur question mark dot next, excuse me, question mark dot next question mark dot val. And like once again, that's going to help us iterate through the list as long as there are two nodes, right? Two nodes. This would be the first node. This would be the second node. As long as there are two nodes in the list, then we know we could keep moving, right? So then we're going to say if the next two nodes have the same value, that means it's a duplicate. So we're going to check that by saying if next val equal sign next val. So if those two are equal to each other, then we know we found a duplicate, right? So we're going to say, open up the brackets. We're going to say, we are going to say let duplicate equal next val. So we're going to store the value in the duplicate, right? For comparison as we keep going. Then we're going to skip over all the consecutive duplicate nodes by saying while cur question mark dot next exclamation point does not equal nil, exclamation point equal nil. Then we're going to say comma cur question mark dot next question mark dot val is equal to equal sign duplicate. Hold on. Duplicate like so. Boom. We're gonna open up the brackets. Make sure my spelling's right. Sorry about that, y'all. We're gonna say cur question mark dot next is equal to cur question mark dot next question mark dot next, right? And that's going to allow us to skip over all of the consecutive duplicate nodes, right? So while cur dot next is not equal to nil, which means as long as there's something right there, then we're going to but it's still the same while. It's going to say cur dot next val is equal to duplicate. Then that means we know we have a duplicate, and that means that lets us know we need to skip over it. Now we're going to skip over it by calling cur.next.net. We're going to change the value of cur.next to, or we're going to set the value of cur.next to cur.next.next, which is us skipping over the duplicates. Then we're going to come down here and we are going to say, if the next two nodes are different, we're just going to move on to the next node, right? So we're going to be able to do that by saying else, open up the brackets. We're going to say cur equals cur question mark dot next. So once again, that's if the two nodes are different, then we know we can move on to the next node, and we could check the next node to see if there's any duplicates. Then we're just going to come down here and we are going to return the head of the modified list that we just created by skipping all the dummy nodes. By skipping the dummy nodes, right? Because we can include the dummy node in our when we return in our output. So we're going to say return dummy, because don't forget the dummy node's still there. So we're going to say return dummy dot next, and that's going to allow us to skip over the dummy node and return that desired output that we want and are looking for. So let's run it, see how it runs. Ooh, there should be another R right here. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's run it again. And let's accept it. So let's submit it, make sure it stays accepted. Let's see. Boom! 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users with Swift, y'all. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. You know, we're getting our times better, but don't worry. That's not really what it's all about right now. It's all about finding a solution that's easy to understand so that we all could walk away from this video learning something. And I feel like this is a pretty simple solution to understand, y'all. So I hope y'all learned something today. And if you still are struggling with it, y'all, don't forget, just don't give up, y'all. It'll come. You can see, as you can see, I'm only on day 222. I started from day one and I'm still learning. I still don't know everything about LeetCode. I still have to do a LeetCode problem every day to really understand the all the components and everything that goes into doing these LeetCode problems, y'all. We're all starting, or we're all on this journey together, y'all. No matter where you are on this LeetCode journey, we're all here to help each other to keep pushing through and to keep pushing forward. We're all part of the Swift community, y'all. And we all are here to help the Swift community grow. We all believe in the Swift community because if we didn't, why would we be here, y'all? So don't let the imposter syndrome set in, y'all. Don't worry about imposter syndrome. Like I said before, every master started as a beginner, y'all. So don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. If somebody tells you you can't do something, but you're working harder at it every day, then you'll be better than them in no time as long as you stay consistent and disciplined. And another word that I just was brought to my attention is determination, y'all. You got to be determined to win or determined to achieve your goals, y'all, whatever they may be, and use that determination as fuel to keep going, y'all. It's not easy. It's not easy for any of us, but what's going to separate us from the rest is that we're going to keep trying and we're not going to give up, and we are going to get 1% better every day, y'all. We're doing this every day, and every day we're learning something new, hopefully. And if we're not, then we'll just go over what we did until we learn something, y'all. And every time we learn something, we're going to be able to apply that knowledge further down our LeetCode journey and on the next LeetCode problem, y'all. So even if this is your first list problem, I actually like these list node problems because I think they're easy to understand. So even if this is your first list node problem, y'all, I feel like this is an easy solution to understand. And you can see that we're just, if you want to skip over a node, you just call next.next and get the val. You know what I'm saying? If you want one node, if you're on a current node and you want to get to the next node, you just say cur.next.val. It's that simple. If you want to skip over the next node, you go cur.next.next.val. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard to understand. Once you really get in the groove of things and you've done a few of these problems, you'll start to get better at them, y'all. So that's my motivation for today. Don't give up. Keep going, and don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. Now, with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.